3, 2, 1, power up!
And match 57 is underway. Right away, Red Alliance racing towards the scale. Griffin Gear placing that cube, and they do take possession. Looks like Blue Alliance does have possession of their switch with an unconventional cube placement. Red has control of their own switch as well, as the drivers now take control. Looks like Robocong might be the first to get to the scale for Blue. Titanium rushing over to join them. However, Griffin Gear keeping up that red lead on the scale. 2 cubes to 1, Red maintains possession. Looks like West Torrance and Titanium, each attempting to add a cube for Blue. Titanium gets hung up a little, but the scale is back and forth still in Red's possession. Meanwhile, over on Red, Irvine Robotech starting to bring cubes into the exchange. Looks like Robocong on Blue, trying to take back the Blue switch, which Clockwork Oranges are fighting them for. Red still has the scale. Griffin Gear dropping a cube they attempt to place though, leaving an opening for Blue. Brings it back to a neutral position, still slightly in Red's favor though, which Griffin Gear hopes to increase. That cube drops off. We'll see if Titanium's able to place one. Not this time, but West Torrance is moving in. Their cube stays in place, but scales tilting back towards Blue. Griffin Gear coming back just as quickly though. Meanwhile, over on Blue, Titanium bring cubes to the exchange. Blue switch still being fought over between Robocong and Clockwork Oranges. Blue does not have control of their switch at the moment. That means Blue at this time is not scoring any points. With a minute left to go in the match, Red Alliance has a lead of about 150 points. Some congestion over on the Blue side of the field. Griffin Gear, Titanium running into some defense. Looks like Blue Alliance has played a Levitate power-up. Red does just now as well. 45 seconds left to go. West Torrance trying to take back the scale for Blue. That cube lands. But the Red Alliance not focused on scale anymore. Griffin Gear is getting ready to climb as we're approaching the final 30 seconds. Looks like they let their forks down before the start of endgame slightly, but they do have their alliance partners, Robotech's, getting ready to climb up with them now. We're into the endgame. Final chances for Blue to take back the scale, which it looks like they do. We'll see if Blue's also able to climb. Griffin Gear bringing up Robotechs with them for Red. That's 2 Red climbs if they can stay in the air for the final 10 seconds. Looks like West Torrance has gotten caught on the scale. They might not be able to get to the platform to park. Their alliance partners try to help them, getting a little stuck as well. And then the final seconds of the match, looks like that is where the robots end up.
My hands on myself. Pick up dust them off, put them back up on the shelf. Kiss my little baby girl isn't me. Am I coming out of left field? Ooh, I'm a rebel just for kicks now. I've been feeling it since 1966 now. Might be over now, but I feel it still. Ooh, I'm a rebel just for kicks now. Let me kick it like it's 1986 now. Might be over now, but I feel it still. Got another mouth to feed. Leaving with the babies till the mama call a grave digger. Gone with the falling.
Scores are in. It's Red Alliance winning with a score of 340 to 143. Red Alliance taking 4 out of 4 ranking points. Blue does get 1 from the Auto Quest. Now, let's hear a little more on that match from RSN.
Red Alliance getting the 4 ranking points. 50-12 needed those to try to get themselves up into the number 2 spot. Stephanie, how did Red Alliance pull it out over Blue?
Yeah, I want to take a look at the instant replay here. This definitely could have been a very different match. We're going to start here right coming out of Autonomous, the start of the teleoperated period. We're going to watch it slightly advanced speed, but you'll notice Red now has 2 cubes. Blue is able to get 2 very quickly, but they drop this 3rd one, and unfortunately, they drop another one here. If those 2 had stuck, they would actually have a 1 cube lead. And then with these next two, they would immediately have a 2-cube lead on the Red Alliance. And that would have been much more difficult for the Red Alliance to come back from with only 1 robot against 2 robots on the scale. Now, unfortunately, it looks like 1160 had a mechanical failure there, so they were no longer able to put 2 robots onto the scale for the rest of the match. And that was another unfortunate thing, but it could have been a very different match there.
Yeah, and that shows how this game, in many respects, is a game of small edges on the scale, right? Dropping 1 cube, putting yourself behind in tempo can be a huge disadvantage because once that scale starts to go up against the direction you want it to go into, fewer and fewer robots are able to actually score cubes effectively as the match progresses.
It's also so different to be able to watch that match from the bird's eye view that we have, where the drivers driving those robots, they can't see if they're 6 inches behind the scale or 4 inches behind the scale or a 1.5 feet. It's really hard to tell. So it's easy for us to see, oh, that's going to miss if they spit it out. But when you're driving the robot, it's a very different perspective.
Yeah, I always say that being the driver is probably potentially one of the worst jobs on the team because it's not easy to do and it's all on you in many